flinching. What causes flinching? How to avoid that? What's the remedy pill? Hello guys! Today, a very quick tip. We will talk about flinching. What causes flinching and what's the remedy pill? First, we need to recognize that there are two phenomena. There's anticipation and there's flinching. And the elements that causing both of them, they're different. Anticipation, it's more function of your shooting platform and respectively your stance. Instability of your shooting platform urges you to keep your balance, and that can cause you to push the gun down in response of the shot. Flinching, it's a sympathetic response of the neighboring fingers when you're pulling the trigger finger, releasing the shot. Scientific studies reveals that you cannot move a single finger in its full range. So you can achieve a limited dexterity of a particular finger, but you cannot use the full motion of that finger without engaging the rest of the fingers. That study shows that even the most dexterous people cannot achieve the full range of motion of individual finger. In biomechanics, that phenomenon of inability to completely separate the motion of individual fingers and achieve a complete dexterity, it's known as finger enslavement. In other words, you can move your trigger finger to a degree that you can isolate it to pull the trigger correctly, but if you pull too much or you add too much speed, that will cause a sympathetic reaction. So the adjacent fingers, they will contract in response of the action of the trigger finger. That will add additional pressure on the grip with your shooting hand. And if you're a right-handed shooter, that will cause the gun to move down and left. And obviously you will see your hit on the target down left, and respectively mirror image if you're left-handed shooter, that hit will be down right. So how to avoid that? What's the remedy pill? Two very important components: speed and force. In TPC, we define those as two individual concepts that helps to support the first principle of a trigger control: isolation of the action of the finger. And those two concepts are exactly this: the speed of the trigger pull and the effort, which will translate to force. So the idea is to pull the trigger with a constant speed of the actual trigger pull. Constant speed. Do not try to accelerate while you're pulling the trigger, or don't try to pull the trigger in an erratic manner, because it's guaranteed that will cause a sympathetic reaction of the rest of the fingers. In TPC, we define the actual trigger pull from the moment that you reach the wall of the trigger to the very click or bang or the hammer release. That little section of the trigger pull, you need to maintain the same speed from the moment that you initiate that pull to the very end. Supposed to feel like a piston of an engine, so you're not accelerating the trigger pull speed, it stays consistent. You can use the press technique, so you can take the slack, reach the wall of the trigger, and then apply that constant speed, or you can go through the trigger slap with the constant speed from the very beginning and complete the trigger pull with constant speed. It doesn't matter what kind of technique you're going to use, just stay focused not to accelerate the trigger pull or not to pull the trigger with too much speed erratically. These two elements will cause a sympathetic reaction of the neighboring fingers, and that will cause that low left hit on the target. a lot of instructors say pull the trigger smoothly. What does it mean? That will guarantee that you'll pull the trigger smoothly. The second element, it's the effort or the force you apply on that actual trigger pull. If you apply too much force, that will turn your fine motor skill into a gross motor skill that will cause that sympathetic reaction again. Neural crosstalk. When neural impulse magnitude increases, especially under stress or pressure, neural crosstalk, called activation of neighboring muscles due to shared nerve pathways, increases as well. The median nerve controls the thumb, index, and middle fingers' flexors. When impulse magnitude increases through the index finger, the neurological excitation often spills to adjacent digits, especially the middle finger, causing unintended movement often seen as a sympathetic grip reflex or flinch. If the shooter overpresses the trigger, they risk activating the entire hand. This can disturb the grip and sight alignment. Now, one trick that can help you guys is to apply more pressure with the ulnar digits of your palm. That means the pinky and the ring finger. Evidence from biomechanics and neuromotor research supports the idea that a strong pinky ring finger grip can stabilize the hand and reduce sympathetic movement, thereby allowing the index finger, trigger finger, to move with greater independence and precision. By leveraging the ulnar side of the hand for strength, you free the median innervated fingers for dexterity. Coupled with conscious control of overall muscle tension, relaxing large muscles and avoiding gross motor interference, this approach can improve trigger control dramatically. Try those tricks and let us know how you do in the comments below. Do you find those tips helpful? And tell us if you're able to achieve a better dexterity of your trigger finger, avoiding the flinch. Is that remedy pill actually helps?
If you like the video, visit the online training page on our website or check the calendar section to sign up for our in-person courses. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.